Hello, what's up guys? Simon here with another Gunpla review, and today we will talk about one of the latest high-grade kit from the AOZ series, released in October. As you can see, this is the HGUC Premium Money exclusive Gundam TR-6 Haze'n-thley 2 from Advance of Zeta, the Flag of Titan series. So firstly, I would like to apologize because this review is too late. The reason is I was too busy with my study and works in the last 2 weeks, and also there were there are four kids came in almost same time, so I don't have much time to make this review. But anyway, finally I can have time in the last 2 days, so yeah, I can make review of this kit. And as usual, before I start with the review, I would like to inform you that the original price of this kit is 4,840 Japanese yen in Japan, excluding the shipping cost. So yeah, it's quite expensive, and maybe as you know from the previous promo image that this kit is one of the tallest, maybe, or biggest high-grade kit ever released by Bandai, alongside with the Vanellope, which was also released on the same month. So if you see the box of the Haze'n-thley 2, you may probably realize, or you can imagine, how big this kit will be. Anyway, in order to get a better idea of the size of this kit, I will show you first this. So this is the size comparison between several 144 kits. For example, on the left is the real grade Sazabi, New Gundam, Woundward, and Master Grade Gundam from the Origin series, and also the second V. So as you see, that the Haze'n-thley 2 is slightly taller than the Sazabi, and yeah, it's much taller than the most 144 kits, so it's quite big. And this is how the Haze'n-thley 2 looks like in its MS mode in more details. So I think I should thank Bandai for releasing this kit, even it's just a premium Bandai exclusive, because it looks amazing. It is big and it doesn't look like any other AOZ kits released before. Yeah, anyway, maybe you can realize that this kit is actually an upgraded version of the Gundam TR-6 Woundward or Hazel 2. Yeah, of course, there are some parts that you need to paint if you want to match the colors accurately. But even if you don't paint, it still looks amazing. Some body parts use stickers. For example, the composite booster or the rival used stickers, and unfortunately this kit doesn't come with water slide, so the markings here are the stickers. So if you watch my previous video about the unboxing of Haze'n-thley 2, you may remember that I have mentioned that this kit came with 20 runners if we exclude the polycaps, and 13 of these runners are new from Haze'n-thley 2, while 7 runners came from HGUC P-Bandai Woundward. And this kit came with around 90% of Woundward parts. So if you ask, can you make Woundward from Haze'n-thley 2 kit? The answer is no, because it's still missing some body parts like the faceplate, and I don't remember, but it's not 100% Woundward parts, so it's still missing some. And we get some spare parts here. So this is the some spare part for transformation. So you may see that this is actually not so many. So the reason is because Haze'n-thley 2 is not fully parts forming. So usually high-grade kits, transformable high-grade kits use parts forming, or you have to exchange part instead of fully transform. But Haze'n-thley 2 actually can, how to say, it has some transformation gimmicks like the master grade or read grade. So this kit is quite interesting. And if you talk about polycaps, Haze'n-thley 2 actually didn't use many of them. So as you can see, this kit only used the number one polycaps from the entire runner, and most of the polycaps goes to the lower part of the body, while the upper parts of the body didn't use polycaps at all. Okay, now the articulation. So this kit actually has pretty good articulation, especially for the upper parts of the body. For example, the head could slightly turn to the left or the right, up and down, but unfortunately it couldn't do 360-degree rotation because of the big back parts, which blocks most of the movement of the head. Anyway, one of the most interesting part of this kit, probably the arm. So the arm is quite different with most of transformable high-grade kits. So it has several points of articulation, which makes the arms could have much wider movement than normal. And the elbow itself is quite different. So the upper elbow has pretty limited articulation, but the lower elbow is quite free for movement. And unfortunately, Haze'n-thley 2 still use the hands of Woundward, which are pretty weak, in my opinion, to hold the weapons and other things. As you can see, the biggest part of this kit are probably the legs. And actually, the legs of Haze'n-thley 2 have pretty good articulation and nice gimmicks too. For example, it could move to the side pretty wide, but unfortunately the knees could only slightly bend, maybe only 10 degrees. And both legs has kind of fins on the back side, which could also articulate pretty well. And the legs could also move backward pretty far, but it's difficult to move them to the forward direction. And finally, Haze'n-thley 2 has really small feet, but even they are small, they could articulate pretty well too. Similar with other giant kits, Haze'n-thley 2 actually came with a stand to make the posing purpose much easier. But actually this kit could also stand by its own. But I don't recommend you to do this because it's quite risky when this kit fall. So maybe it could break some parts. Anyway, the main feature of Haze'n-thley 2 probably lies on its capability to transform. And as you may already know, this mobile suit have at least two modes of transformation. The first mode is the split transformation between the G-top fighter, which is practically the upper side of the body, and G-bottom, which is the lower part of the body. And the second transformation gimmick is the mobile armor mode, which is practically just the combination between G-top and G-bottom fighter. And as I mentioned before, this kit actually has some pretty interesting transformation gimmick. For example, you have to twist or rotate some body parts like the arms and the legs, and some parts of the body has a kind of locking unlocking mechanism in order to transform between the mobile suit mode or to the mobile armor mode, for example. Anyway, of course, you still have to do some parts forming or exchanging parts if you want to transform this kit. The last feature I would like to talk about the Haze'n-thley 2 is the customization gimmicks. And this is probably one thing that distinguished this kit from other giant high-grade kits released by Bandai so far. So similar with other AOZ kits, you can actually combine the Haze'n-thley 2 with other kits from the same series. If you watch my previous video about the Haruru 2, you probably already know that Haze'n-thley 2 could be combined with the expansion parts of Haruru 2 in order to make Haze'n-thley 2 Ra. So in order to do this, you need at least one set of Haruru 2 or two Haruru 2 expansion parts and some parts from the Gundam TR-6 Hazel 2. Anyway, I don't have much time to do many experiments with this kit, but I believe that this kit still could be combined with other AOZ kits to make various kind of mobile suit combination from the AOZ series. And finally, it is time to conclude this review. In my opinion, Haze'n-thley 2 is by far one of the best, if not the best, high-grade kit ever released by Bandai for the AOZ series. Firstly, it is big and it is pretty solid. I don't have much trouble to make some cool poses with it. Also, this kit has very cool transformation gimmicks. So you have two modes of transformation. You can have G-top fighters and G-bottom fighters, and you can even combine these two fighters into the mobile armor mode. And of course, similar with other AOZ kits, this Haze'n-thley 2 could be combined with other kits from the same series. So if you have Haruru 2, you can make Haze'n-thley 2 Ra or any other combination. Anyway, the most difficult question probably is, do you really want to buy this kit? I'm quite sure that many of you have already know that Bandai will release Haze'n-thley 2 Ra next February, which is practically the upgrade version of this kit. So I guess it will come with everything this kit has, plus some new parts and its own Haruru 2 parts, plus new rifle and or composite booster. So if you only want the Haze'n-thley 2 Ra, I recommend you to wait for a while and pre-order the official one, because it will be much cheaper rather than if you combine this kit with other AOZ kits. However, if you prefer the original version of Haze'n-thley 2, which is cheaper than Haze'n-thley 2 Ra, also if you don't paint your kit and you like the Titan color scheme more, I will recommend you to buy this kit. It may look less sophisticated compared to the Haze'n-thley 2 Ra, but nevertheless, this is one of the best kit of 2019. So yeah, I love everything which came with this kit. So I like the gimmicks, I like the transformation, and I love many features of this kit. Okay, that's all for the review today. I hope you like it, and I wish it could answer all your questions regarding the HGUC Haze'n-thley 2. If you like the review, please click like and subscribe. And I will return soon with the review for the HGUC RX-78-6 Madro Gundam in the middle of November. So thanks for watching and see you again next time. Stay tuned.